Alaska. You can hear it from Sitka to Barrow. Gather around for Jeannie's show. It's the Aleut, the Indian, and the Eskimo. It's the Aleut, the Indian, and the Eskimo.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Heartbeat Alaska Native News, Native Information, and Native Fun. And boy, is today going to be a fun program. Before we move on, for Alaska viewers only, watch us every morning at 8 a.m. on Channel 2 KTUU, right here in Anchorage, Alaska, in addition to our great friends at KCAM Channel 7. On today's program, we travel north, and speaking of friends, hello, Fred Dusing. Thank you so much for inviting us to the Inupiaq village of Noatak, Alaska. We'll be back with Noatak right after this.
Hello, my name is Dolly Booth. I'm at Noatak. Hello to everyone.
We watch Heartbeat Alaska.
Heartbeat Alaska is brought to you in part by Coastal Villages Region Fund. Thank you, CVRF, for your support of Heartbeat Alaska. And
by the Nature Conservancy of Alaska, working with Alaska's rural communities to conserve and protect our natural heritage.
Hi, I'm Mark from Scan Home, and we are proud to sponsor Heartbeat Alaska.
Scan Home, serving all of Alaska's home and office furnishing needs. Thank you, Scan Home, for making Heartbeat Alaska possible.
Heartbeat Alaska is brought to you in part by Brown's Electric Lighting Gallery. Thank you, Brown's Electric, for your generous support of Heartbeat Alaska.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. And now let's travel to a village that sits on the west bank of the Noatak River.
This is Noatak, and the river is about 400 miles long, 300 something miles, almost 400. I never get the end of it, about 35 miles. But our people live along the river in different areas wherever the caribou go over the pass into our area.
Located in the Noatak National Preserve, 55 miles north of Kotzebue, sits the village of Noatak. Built on the west bank of the Noatak River, it supports a population of about 423. The village was made up of several small scattered groups, which fished and hunted in the area. One main group followed the caribou far upriver in the wintertime, while another main group stayed primarily in the forest. In the spring, both groups migrated to the coast to hunt seal and beluga whale. Noatak is the only settlement along the entire length of the Noatak River. Even though the Red Dog Mine is a major employer and the economy is diverse, still, Noatak is subsistence-oriented.
You always have something to do here in Noatak. There's always subsistence going on the whole winter, even the summer. There's seasons of, we do all kinds of hunting here in Noatak, so we're always busy here. We catch trout, catch caribou. Right this time, it's really duck hunting time and fishing time right now. Ice fishing, rod, and everybody will be there trying to find places to hunt ducks, geese, and Snow geese. Oh, that's my uncle, Phillip Booth. He took a shot at geese. Yeah, everybody bring a shotgun.
You know, maybe shoot 5 or 6 caribou, then come back into town. I'll give him 2 caribou, and then if I'm too tired from working or driving the boat and working on meats, I'll butcher 1 caribou for myself. Then I'll get on the CB and say, anybody want fresh meat? I got 2 more caribou outside to give away, and they'll ask me if I want to deliver them or if they should go get them themselves. And if they want me to deliver them, I'll deliver them. But that one winter, one fall, I got 18 caribou with 22 shots. And I only put away 2.5 caribou myself. I filled up at least 4 families' freezers for them. Their husbands and other stuff were working at Red Dog, and by the time they got home, they were not hunting. There's no more caribou. The caribou migration fall migration had already went through. The persons didn't really want to take meat from me because they knew their husbands would want to hunt it too. So, but they were happy after. They called me up and thanked me for filling their freezers for them. And same with fishing. I'll go out. I like to fish. I'm not much of a fish eater, but I like to go out and rod and reel. I filled up a family's freezer with trout one fall too. They eat fish all the time, so I filled their freezer up for them. I call them up. You want fish? Yeah. How much you got? I say a tub full. And how many you're going to give? I say whatever you want. And they say, well, I'll take it all. So they took all of it.
My wife's dad at Kivalina made this ivory hook. It's made out of walrus tussocks. Ivory. He makes them she got a couple of them with it this morning. They're pretty good. You got to be real steady when you're pulling them up though. They're not like these ones with barbs. They don't have no barbs on them. You got to be an expert to use them. I had no luck. I lost one a few minutes ago with it. I'm going to try it again, I guess. Fishing for trout. We just gotta wait till they come around. When the water starts coming up and start getting dirty, that's when they really start moving down toward the ocean to feed for the summer. And after they feed for the summer, they'll come back up for the winter. February, March, April, fish coming down from all the tributaries in the river. And so that's why every couple of days there'll be a lot of fish in these spots right here. We call these kaglus, where there's kind of a deep spot in the river. Because over there, just not too far, it's like 1 foot deep. And over here, it's kind of maybe a good 12 feet. About. Now what I have this J-hook. That's my favorite hook. My J-hook number 4 and 3. But I order my baits from Anchorage, sometime from Hood River, Oregon. So sometimes most of them, some guys use Pyxis. But I use all winter. I use mostly J-hook myself. You got to watch the pressure the day. When the pressure is too high, they just don't like to bite. These are made out of willows. We tried to look for some bended ones for handles, and try to find ones that have little branches sticking out and cut them out for our line.
Leave the line just long enough to go to the bottom?
Yeah. Yeah, we make about maybe 5 fathom line. We're gonna have the salmon egg for today coming. They use the scoop. They come out after you put some salmon eggs on the water and stir it up. When they doesn't want to bite, they start coming. But when the fish is just right, you don't need that one. Just the baits. You've got to change your baits around. Sometimes they like only this is salmon egg, balls of fire. Yeah, I got all different kind of baits with some blood and some colored pink. We dry our salmon fall time, so we do lots of seining. Our family in the village, and while we're doing that, we get some salmon eggs from their belly, and put them away, put them in Ziploc bags, and put them away for the winter. That's our bait. I pick it the old-fashioned way, in the auger. Just take a minute or two. And with the ice pick, it takes about maybe half hour to make one hole about 5-6 feet deep. I give some to my relatives away too. Some when I had enough, when they want to buy fish, I sold some fish through the sacks. People always order fish from Noatak. People always sold some to other people when they asked for fish. Even from Barrow, Point Hope, even Sismarif. Even Kobuk Way, they ordered some fish from Noatak, from people. This winter they want fish already. There's hardly any fish this winter. Hard to find a fish. But sometimes, most of them always have some fish to sell. When the fish is right, I go out every day. Oh ho ho! That's a big one. There's a big one. Us older ones, we teach the younger ones. In our village, we try to keep our tradition going. So whenever we have young kids around us, we teach them what we learned from our forefathers. And we pick it up and they pick it up too. So the tradition still going on here in Noatak. Here's my grandson. Here's my grandson there. You take hooks? We like fishing. Everybody like fish here in Noatak. They like the trout, they like the whitefish, grayling, salmon. We eat them all and we store them away, and this is our life, way of life, how we live around here.
Enjoying fishing. You want to try fish?
Heartbeat Alaska will be right back.
It's about not doing drugs. It's about knowing where you come from, what you do, and who you are. It's about not doing drugs.
Each week, Heartbeat Alaska brings you great stories from all over the state. And we couldn't do it without the generous support of Frontier Flying Service. Frontier gets our camera crews where they need to go. So whenever you see a Frontier plane, give them a wave.
Say hi from Noatak.
You might just be on Heartbeat Alaska.
Frontier Flying Service, covering Alaska for over 50 years.
Tell me what you're doing here.
Shining up my goose. Shining my geese. It's a green. Well,
Carving.
Well, I need a polish
Heart for Mother's Day. What we're doing here today is it's the Inupiaq Day here in Noatak, and we're doing some ivory carving. We're creating some ivory hearts for Mother's Day. So this is it's turning out pretty cool, I think, where some of these students are actually really enjoying this. And then we even got one student even made an ivory ring. Okay, the first thing I did today was, before we even got started with the children here, is I took an ivory tusk and I made slices out of it so that we can have to use to make the ivory hearts for Mother's Day. And that's what I did earlier today. And then all they did was draw on the ivory heart, the design that they wanted. Then they started cutting that into a profile. And then after that, they sanded it some. And then some of them wrote down their mom's name on them. So they carved that into it. And after they're done sanding that, they just polished it.
We're making a heart for Mother's Day.
First, we had to get pieces of the ivory, cut it, make it to small strips like this. And then after that,
make a heart out of paper. Make a heart, put on the ivory, crease it, then cut it.
Make it smooth, then we could polish it, or we could write name or anything on it. And
then we'll buff it like this, so it get like nice and white.
After that, then it's done, ready for Mother's Day.
I think it's pretty important because it helps keep the traditions alive, native craft traditions like ivory carving, skin sewing, and basket making, and this sort of stuff. They've been real interested, real helpful, and they've been asking questions when they have a little bit of trouble. I help them out. I kind of guide them some. Most of it's been about 90% their own efforts in doing this stuff. They kind of had an idea what should be done and how to do it.
To continue the tradition, to teach our children how to be able to survive or the things that they might need in the future. Because in the Western school, they teach them the Western stuff and the Western history as they look at it. But in this Inupiaq Day, what we have is we tell it from our point of view. And that's something that our kids need to know. Our hopes are maybe one day artists will continue to make these or use some of these stuff that we have here, like the rope. The rope is something that you can have other kind of ropes, but eventually the knot will come off. But when you have our sealskin ropes, you tie it one time and you know it'll be there when you're done with your travel.
I was brought up the traditional ways. You get your first animal that you can eat. You either have a potlatch or you give the meat out to elders. And with your fur-bearing animals, your first animal, you give it to an elder. And usually it's an older a lady, but you can give it to men too, as long as it's an elder. So being brought up that way, I like hunting and everything, so I was brought up where if you're a good hunter and everything, you don't only provide food for yourself, you provide food for your village.
I'd like to share just a verse from the Bible. It's in Genesis, and the word says, "And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." In other words, God is telling us that we are in control. He gave us dominion.
My grandfather went all the way to Canada before hunting caribou, because there was a famine up here. He had to go all the way to Canada to hunt caribou by dog team. He'd bring it so far, go back and get some more, bring it so far, and he'd keep hopscotching, making caches till he got close enough to the village, and he brought some in, let them get people get strong enough, and he just tells they got names for Eskimo names for the places, and all the other hunters, people can go out with their dog teams and get the rest of the meat. So I was brought up that way.
This one is a lady's belt, how they used to make the lady's belt. These are wolverine feet, and these wolverine here, they've been trapped before. After they trap, the foot freeze, and it freeze up to here, and it grow back. When it grow back white. And so these are special wolverine that the ladies have for their belts. This one here, I made it, and it's kind of a men's style belt. I put a buckle with sheep horn and put baleen around it, and this is opal. And these are bear claws and sheep horn beads. And I just make it this men's style. This is my knife belt. This one is a hook that we use, and here's how you grasp it. This is the way you hold it. And this is when the seal sink, you use this, or any kind of sea mammal that sink, and this goes through the bottom, and it gets caught on whatever kind of animal is in the bottom that you're trying to get. Seal, ogruk, walrus, whatever stuck. And this one is a floating one. When it's still floating, this is what we use. And our people, some of us still use the marks that we have, and mine are five notches. This is a needle pouch made with just a duck bone and a little bit toothbrush. This one here is a old lamp, seal oil lamp, and it was broken, but I put it together just for show. And this is deep enough to where it can have light for the whole evening. That's kind of about the size that they make them all around.
We forget about our culture, and that means we won't like remember it more. Like we won't remember it, since now we'll have to like read books and besides like really enjoy it for life.
Hi, I'm Lisa Zam with Alaska Family Hospice, your home in the city. We would like to invite you to stay with Alaska Family, located right next to the Alaska Native Medical Center. We will have a new addition for our special prenatal guests, a beautiful prenatal home. Call to make your reservations. This fall and winter, every guest is entered in a very special drawing every week for gift certificates, and in December, a grand drawing. So the next time you're coming to Anchorage, stay with Alaska Family, your home in the city.
Breaking through the clouds, she
Turn it up!
Bye, Dad.
Bye, Junior.
From generation to generation, the passing down of tradition has been the native way.
You never eat snow because it'll get you tired.
Survival in the Alaska wilderness depends on one's knowledge of ancient native secrets.
Nowadays we carry this. Always carry it next to your body. It's water.
Purity guaranteed. Aquafina.
Welcome back. Education is one of the most important missions in rural Alaska, the education of our youth. And today we travel back to Noatak, Alaska, and visit the graduation of 2002 seniors.
The love of our Inupiaq past shows us the path to have faith for the future. As you graduates grow older, keep these thoughts in mind, because our Inupiaq ways do have a place in contemporary society.
Graduating, it was about showing people that you care and that you're going to go through another stage, but you're going to do it by exceeding.
As a ball has a goal to sink in the rim, and like the ball, I too have a goal to go out into the real world and make something of myself.
A famous man once said that if we speak softly, we should carry a big stick. I am a person who speaks softly, and here I am carrying a big stick.
Scary. But when I was up there, it wasn't that bad.
I remember as a young girl, I would watch my friends come up here and say their speech. Now every time I think about it, I would think about saying my speech and telling myself I won't cry. Now here I am crying.
I feel good because I know everyone around here and they all know me, and I could just feel the happiness.
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating class of Hockey School 2006.
Congratulations again to all the graduates of the 2002 class in Noatak, Alaska, and all across Alaska. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for Heartbeat Alaska, and join us again next week where we travel to more remote villages across the north. Remember, for Anchorage viewers only, visit us now every morning right after Meet the Press, 8 a.m. on Channel 2. God bless every single one of you, and we'll see you again next week.